Hello Internet, and welcome back. Today we are on episode 4, and I have more bad news. The recording I meant for this episode only recorded half of the microphones involved, so it's just 150 minutes of me talking to empty air instead of a cool New Zealander. But fret not, for the video survives. Our adventures this time involved our first taste of the Nether via the ruined portal we found in episode 1, through which we were immediately greeted by a basalt delta ravine. We tunneled out to greater frontiers and engaged in our first piglin barter, for which we were repaid with one single crying obsidian. There was much quartz mining to be done, and it was done, as well as a small amount of soul sand digging. Our trek led us to slay more endermen, who graciously silk-touched a few blocks for us out of the world's smallest warped forest biome, from which we also foraged a few blocks for the road. Back on the overworld, I quickly crafted up observers and comparators before casting Fortune 1 on our entire stock of redstone ore. Now with the proper materials, I converted our old manual sugarcane farm into a fully automatic sugarcane harvesting machine, complete with collection system. Well aware of our dwindling fish supply, I also built up a chicken farm for an endless supply of delicious, succulent meat. While I was in the area, I grabbed a couple more villagers and politely coerced them into offering Fortune 3 and Efficiency 5, which I quickly made use of by breaking down another metric boatload of redstone ore into dust. Where did this extra ore come from? Well, a little closer to the void, I excavated a modest sum of stone and ores from our mine we started back in the first episode, saving on torches by using the most efficient light pattern. Here I discovered a strange cyan-speckled block littered throughout the site. My internet searches determined that there isn't really a useful application for this strange substance, so for now it's going to stay where it is. Maybe you can elucidate me in the comments below. Why, you might ask? What do you need all that stone for? Well, I have an answer. As you can see, I've marked the spawn area with several pillars that reach from the ground, and these outline the footprint for the project we will be working on today. All ponds within this region have been filled in, and all our supplies have been relocated because today, we build the spawn landing. In these chests here are our building materials, including 200 stacks of stone, a double chest of basalt, and a handful of fences, lamps, and lanterns. As you can see, I'm anticipating this to be a pretty big project, so let's get started. Hours of grinding and way too much editing later, and we are done. So this is the spawn landing. We've got lots of little details over here. There's some parts that are left bare, kind of like this area over here is just kind of just 2 lamps. Someday I'll maybe figure what I want to do with that. And then over on the sides, obviously this is definitely not finished. It's just, this is where it's ending for now. I'm gonna build onto it as time goes on. So obviously, like down here, staircases just lead into dirt, and yeah, that's not gonna stay like that. The inside, totally empty. We're gonna fill it with stuff. I think the plan as it stands now, I want to move the villagers over here into this kind of spot here, and there's gonna be like a villager trading hall at least on this wing. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of the three. Maybe I'll extend the trading hall there or put storage or something. I don't know. In the middle, I'm thinking villager trading or villager breeding system, maybe that's hooked up to the villager trading hall, and it can take the villagers to wherever they need to be. So there's that. And over here, you can see I dug out more on this side than what I needed, and that's because I have a future project that I want to put here. I'm thinking this side, since it's like the entrance, it's gonna stick out a little bit, and there's gonna be like builds over here and stuff. But on top, yeah, if we head up there real quick, I'm thinking I want to put like a monorail system kind of deal. So this would be a station, and it goes along this side, and it goes out that way, probably toward my the circ, and then out that way. There's not really anything out there that way yet, but yeah, eventually something will be, I'm sure. And I have a design I think that I'm gonna go with once I get around to that. Over on this side, my thoughts are maybe like a dock. Whoops, I wasn't supposed to fall there. Maybe like a dock, and I'll clear out this little land over here, and I think this water goes on pretty far, so it'll be a nice way to travel between the whatever ends up being built over on that side. On the south side here, I'm thinking this will be like, okay, so this is kind of like a town square over here, so on the south side, I'm thinking the town hall, a building like that, and there could be more storage in there. Maybe that's where I'll put like the elytras and stuff when we finally get that. Basically, the spawn landing is meant to be a spot where players heal back up and get back on their feet while they go back and search for their items. So I want to have like suits of armor and elytras, maybe food and stuff like that that they can restock on, and then go out back to wherever they need to be. So town hall, that'll probably be it'll probably be inside the town hall over on the south side. And then over here, this side, I don't know if I'll extend anything out on the top here. Maybe I'll do like a little balcony or something. But down on here, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna want to fill in the swamp parts and maybe have it all extend all the way over the ocean, and then I'll put like a boardwalk or something. Maybe. It depends on the thoughts. Like my ideas for this, it probably will change over time. But I'm pretty happy with those ideas for each wing. Obviously, like this giant hill here is going to be taken down, and probably down to the level of the inside here, so this like comes out smoothly. And then over on the sides, like these corners, I guess you could call it, I think I might want to fill in, like make it so the grass goes up to the top there, so it doesn't look like it's just so like empty over here. Or maybe I'll find something else I want to do on the outside, who knows. But yeah, you can see like the outsides, they're really bare, so those will be updated as time goes on. But for now, that's where this is left. I'm happy with it. I put a lot of work into it. Like the design, the 10-hour time lapse was just like tip of the iceberg for how much time went into designing this. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I especially like the middle area here. It's kind of like adds all the color to this. It's got the greens and oranges, or not oranges, greens and browns that kind of add to the taste of it. One last thing for this part, I have a map here, and I kind of am keeping a track of the evolution of the spawn area. So this spot right here is the spawn center of the world, basically. So if you die, you respawn on here. I think I set a spawn radius, and it goes out like 7 blocks, but when I tested it, I still spawned on this exact block. So this is basically the middle. So let's cast a map, and there we go. We have, I wish it was centered, but you can't really control that, I guess. So I also have a stained glass that I'm going to go ahead and lock this map the way it is. So this is like a stage 3 of the evolution of what I actually have kept track of. And you can see the previous 2 stages right here. We have, this was as early as I remembered to take a screenshot of. You can see all of our like loot and stuff over on the hill still. You can see our old farm, which I moved over here, as you can see. So a little more out of the way, so it's less likely that I'll end up building over the top of it. I'm gonna do something with it eventually, but for now it's just gonna be over here, and I'll keep moving it as needed until I actually get a final place for it. So up here, let's go ahead and slap that down, and let's actually rotate these so they're in order. So down here we have the first map, here we have just before I started that time lapse, and here we have the beginning of the spawn landing, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think maybe sometime I'll make like a map building, and that'll kind of house all these. And obviously I'm going to need to expand before long because those are getting awfully close to the edge there. As for the outside areas, I'm kind of thinking this is going to be like the centerpiece of a really big, hopefully someday, a really big city. And like I'm going to slowly build buildings and stuff as I need things. Like I'm thinking maybe a ender pearl stasis chamber kind of put out on the side here, and that way like I could use it for adventuring. I could go out as far as I want without having to worry about anything, and then at night maybe a daylight sensor will detect when it's starting to get dark. It'll send me right back here by activating like a trapdoor over the ender pearl or something, and then I could sleep, and then I'll go some other direction and explore. I think it's a really cool idea. It gives me a full like 10 minutes between when I wake up and when the ender pearl will go off. So 10 minutes of exploration, I think I can get fairly far. And then after that, by the time I finish the whole map, I kind of hope to have an elytra by then. So anyway, I want to put all that aside and kind of take a look, maybe do a little chat about where this channel is headed, kind of the direction I want to take it, and what changes I think need to happen as time goes on for this all to really work out. Because as it stands, I have a standard of quality, and at the moment I don't think I'm reaching it. And like I understand, it's like I'm a beginner. I haven't been YouTubing for more than like 3 months now, and yeah, I mean you could tell like there's a quality that's not being met, and that's just a matter of me being a beginner. But there are like lots of things that I think now I could be doing better, and I'm currently not doing them better, I think. Because the thing is, I started this channel, I was intent on getting it out around when 1.16 came out, and before then I didn't really do any videos, so I just kind of jumped in head first into all this, and you can see it's not really turning out as great as I'd hoped. I kind of thought like maybe, okay, I'd have a rough start and I'd find my footing and get on. And maybe that'll still happen. I'm only 4 episodes in, but I want it to be something I can be proud of. And I think there's a lot of stuff that I could have been doing before I started this series that really would have helped me reach that goal. At least had a better baseline from the start. So yeah, I think I probably started this series before I was ready. There's nothing I can do about that now. It's already live, it's going on, things are happening, all that. I mean, that still stands as I started a little bit too early, and it shouldn't have happened, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how most YouTubers start. I'm not most YouTubers. I don't even know anyone who's trying to be a YouTuber in person. I'm just kind of on my own here, trying to figure things out. But I know I have a quality standard, and that standard usually leads me to want even my first projects to be a little more higher quality than most beginners would turn out, and sometimes it actually works out. It's like there's other projects where that has been the case, where my first delve into it was actually better than most beginners, and I hoped that my YouTube experiment would go that way. It hasn't. I think I've kind of started out like most people start out, which I don't know. Maybe that's not something I should be worrying about, but it is. That's why I'm having this talk right now. So, yeah, what it comes down to, I mean, there's audio problems. That seems every episode now I've had an audio problem of some kind. Like, beginning of this one, I didn't record half of a conversation I was having with a friend. And, yeah, so that feels like it shouldn't have happened. Like, even as a beginner, I should know how basic audio works, and I still don't really know how all this works. I'm still trying to figure out how to balance my voice and make everything sound organic and good, like YouTube quality. Well, YouTube content creator quality, I don't know is the term for it, but I just didn't reach that standard because I don't know. This is one of the first times I've ever really tried recording my voice for a video, so there's that. I think some preparation, some more research beforehand, I could have avoided all these audio problems and stuff like that. Although, even with the research I've been doing, now that I'm having these problems, I feel like I'm not really making a whole lot of progress. So, there's one aspect of what I'm talking about. As for the channel itself, like, there's a lot of other things that I know I can do better. Like, I do a lot of digital art, so, like, I can make better thumbnails. I can make a title card. I can make a profile picture that I'm proud of, and I just never did for some reason. And I mean, there's other parts of the channel that don't relate to that that I think I can improve, like maybe a better username, maybe better name for the server, yeah, stuff like that. So there's some things that I can work on now that I know I can do better, and I kind of broke my own rules. Like the advice that I usually give people is to focus on quality, not quantity. And I seem to be more concerned about getting videos out than making them good quality, and obviously that's not working out either, because it takes this episode is 3 weeks in the making, and it's not even, there's one time lapse that I put effort into, and then like some other stuff that I don't even know what I did with all that time, to be honest. I mean, I work full-time, so that does put quite a dent in my availability for editing videos and recording and all that. But I think 3 weeks still feels like a really long time. I'd really like to work on figuring out ways that I can bring that down to 1 week, probably at the most. Ideally even faster than that, but I think 1 week for a full-time person is kind of a good place to aim for. So there's that. I mean, by doing that, I think I might... It's hard to say. I was going to say I think it might end up sacrificing quality, which is exactly what I said I don't want to do. Like I said, I prefer quality over quantity, and I think I can stand by that. I'd prefer when I go back over my catalog to be able to be proud of all the work I did, because usually I don't remember the time that goes into it. I remember what I actually did on it. It's like the time lapse that I made. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that was really fairly well done. I can see the imperfections after putting it together, but that's in the past. I'm not going back and fixing that right now because it's finished. And maybe that's another problem. Like, if once something's finished, I don't really want to go back to it, even if I see things. I gotta let go of the project or it'll never get finished. Basically, that's another way to look at it. Like, you gotta have a standard, but you also gotta be able to tell when something is taking too much time, maybe, and you just gotta let it go. Finding that balance, I think, is really tough. So that's where the time lapse is. I think it's pretty good. I like it. Like, I think I can look back on that and be pretty happy with what I did. And that's all I really want for this channel. Like, subscriber count, that would be great. I'd love to have more subscribers, but for now, I think I just want to focus on improving the quality. And once I have something I can be proud of, something that I'd want to show, like, to my parents who don't even really care about Minecraft or something like that. Like, people who would be able to appreciate the quality despite having no interest in the subject matter. I think that would be a great thing to aim for, and I don't think I've really done that. So that's what I want to go for. Basically, what this all comes down to, what I'm trying to say is, would I watch these videos if I didn't make them? And I think the answer to that is a definite no. There's a lot of spots that kind of fall below my standards, and I've unwatched people that... I don't want to put it like that. There are people that I watch, and there are people who I give a chance, but they make the same mistakes that I'm making, and I usually kind of fall off the subscription as time goes on, because there's a lot of stuff that I watch, and, I gotta draw the line somewhere. So basically what I'm saying is I want to meet the quality that I expect of other people, and I think that's reasonable. Whether I'm a beginner or not, like, I gotta have a standard of some kind. Like, I come off of... What inspired this channel was coming off of YouTubers who I know are really passionate about doing what they do. Like, you got Mumbo Jumbo, Zedaf, Grian, Exumavoid. The major one for me was Rendog. His Season 7 of Hermitcraft has really inspired me. Like, it showed me what you can do with editing, just as, like, a Let's Play can be more interesting than just you playing a game. It can have a plot, it can have a story, it can have lore and all that. And I thought that was a really cool revelation to me, because that means I could be even more creative. Like, I think of Minecraft as one of the most creative games out there, but you can be even more creative than just doing the baseline creativity of Minecraft. So that's another thing I want to put some effort into for this channel here. So what all this comes around to, what I'm trying to get to say, it's a really roundabout way of saying it, is that I want to reevaluate the methods I'm taking to approach this channel and try and reorganize what I do in a way that I can meet my standards. So like that means I'll be taking a step back. Like I know I've already taken like 3 weeks to upload this episode, and that kind of seems to be the trend, is that the more episodes I have out, that the longer they take to produce for some reason. But anyway, I'm thinking I want to take a step back. I want to get everything together, basically, and kind of decide what I'm doing right, what I'm not doing right, and emphasize the things that I'm doing right so I can improve the channel and get rid of the things that I think are causing a detriment to it. And also, like, find ways that I can add to the channel. Like, I think a title card, maybe, I don't know, end card, stuff like that, some place to have links at the end of the video and stuff like that. I already have ideas that I want to do for that. So that's essentially what I'm getting at, is that after this episode goes live, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to try and figure out where I want to go, what I want to do with the series and the channel as a whole, and improve on everything across the board. So that means less videos for a while. So that's the status right now. Hopefully my 10 subscribers aren't heartbroken over that. I'm not giving up. I'm determined to make this work. I think, like, I like the editing. I like recording myself playing. I like doing commentary. I think that's a new and interesting direction I've taken for entertaining myself, I guess. But I do want to meet those qualities. So that's about it, I guess. We will meet again. This isn't the end. It's just see you later, I guess. Not goodbye, it's see you later. So, yeah, when we meet again, I want this world to be a much more interesting place. And so that's what I'm going to go for. So until we meet again, stay safe, keep on mining and crafting, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.